Every single day, more than 70 million people eat at McDonald's restaurants around the world. That's more people than the entire population of the United Kingdom. The Golden Arches are recognized in nearly every country on Earth. The company earns billions every year. And somehow, it all started with two brothers running a tiny burger stand in California. But the story of McDonald's isn't just about hamburgers. It's a story about obsession, about speed, about franchising, about ruthless business decisions, and about how one small restaurant completely changed the way humanity eats forever. Because before McDonald's, fast food didn't really exist. There were diners, drive-ins, waitresses on roller skates, huge menus, slow service. Then two brothers came along and asked a dangerous question. What if food could be made like a factory? That single idea would reshape modern America, and eventually the entire world. But the rise of McDonald's also came with controversy. Health criticism, corporate greed accusations, labor debates, globalization concerns, and one of the most disputed business takeovers in American history. This is the complete story of how McDonald's became the king of fast food, before McDonald's. To understand McDonald's, you have to understand America in the 1930s and 1940s. Cars were transforming the country. Highways expanded rapidly. Families were driving more than ever before. And a new kind of restaurant began appearing across California, the drive-in. Customers would park their cars. Car hops would walk outside and take orders. Food was brought directly to the vehicle. It was convenient. It was exciting. And it became massively popular. Two brothers from New Hampshire named Richard and Maurice McDonald saw opportunity in this new industry. Dick and Mac McDonald moved to California searching for success after struggling in other businesses, including the movie industry. Eventually, they opened a restaurant. In 1940, the brothers launched McDonald's BBQ in San Bernardino, California. At first, it looked like every other drive-in restaurant of the era. Large menu, car hop service, barbecue items, hot dogs, sandwiches. But the brothers noticed something important. One product massively outsold everything else: hamburgers. And that realization would change history. The invention of fast food. In 1948, the McDonald brothers did something that shocked customers. They shut the restaurant down completely for months. When it reopened, everything was different. The giant menu was gone. Instead of dozens of items, there were only a handful: hamburgers, cheeseburgers, fries, milkshakes, soft drinks, pie. That was basically it. And most importantly, the car hops disappeared. Customers now walked up to the counter themselves. This allowed the brothers to completely redesign the kitchen for one purpose: speed. The McDonald brothers studied factory assembly lines, especially Henry Ford's production systems. Workers repeated the same task over and over again. One person grilled burgers, another added condiments, another wrapped sandwiches, another handled fries. Every movement was timed and optimized. Legend says the brothers even drew kitchen layouts onto a tennis court, so employees could physically practice movement patterns before construction began. The system became known as the Speedee Service System, and it worked. Food arrived unbelievably fast compared to traditional restaurants. Even better, it was cheap. Hamburgers sold for just 15 cents. Customers loved it. The brothers had unknowingly created the blueprint for modern fast food, the Golden Arches. As business exploded, the McDonald brothers wanted something visually unforgettable, so they redesigned the building. Huge yellow arches were added to the restaurant structure. The architecture was impossible to miss from the road. Drivers could spot the restaurant from far away. Those arches eventually evolved into one of the most recognizable logos in human history, the Golden Arches. The brothers also began franchising their concept, but early expansion was inconsistent. Some locations succeeded, others failed. The brothers were cautious businessmen. They wanted quality control. And then, a milkshake machine salesman entered the picture. A man named Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc arrives. In 1954, Ray Kroc was 52 years old. Most people at that age are thinking about retirement. Kroc was still struggling. He sold multi-mixers, machines capable of making multiple milkshakes at once. One day, he received an unusual order. A small restaurant in California wanted multiple machines. Kroc was curious. Why would one burger stand need so many milkshake mixers? So he traveled to San Bernardino to see it for himself, and what he found stunned him. Customers lined up constantly. Food came out almost instantly. The operation ran like a machine. Kroc immediately realized this wasn't just another restaurant, it was a system that could scale nationwide. The McDonald brothers had built efficiency. Ray Kroc saw an empire. According to McDonald's corporate history, Kroc became determined that his future would be in hamburgers. Soon after, he convinced the brothers to let him franchise the concept nationally. And that decision changed everything. The first true McDonald empire. In 1955, Ray Kroc opened his first McDonald's franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois. This location became the foundation for the modern company. Kroc was relentless. Unlike the McDonald brothers, he wanted massive expansion, but he also demanded strict consistency. Every restaurant had to operate exactly the same way. The fries had to taste identical. The burgers had to look identical. The buildings had to look identical. This standardization became one of McDonald's greatest weapons. Customers knew exactly what they were getting no matter where they stopped. Kroc pushed franchisees aggressively. He demanded cleanliness, precision, uniformity. He later built Hamburger University to train franchise owners and managers in the exact McDonald's system. And then came the real breakthrough: real estate, the secret business model. Most people think McDonald's is a burger company, but in many ways, it's actually a real estate empire. This strategy was developed heavily under businessman Harry Sunborn. Instead of simply collecting franchise fees, McDonald's began purchasing the land underneath restaurants. Then the company leased the land back to franchise owners. That meant McDonald's made money even if burger sales slowed. It collected rent, royalties, and franchise fees simultaneously. This model transformed the business into a financial powerhouse. It also made expansion incredibly fast. McDonald's wasn't just selling hamburgers anymore. It was building one of the most powerful franchise systems ever created. The fall of the McDonald brothers. As McDonald's expanded, tensions between Ray Kroc and the McDonald brothers grew. The brothers preferred slower growth and tighter control. Kroc wanted domination. Arguments erupted over menu changes, operational decisions, and expansion. Eventually, Kroc decided he wanted complete ownership. In 1961, he bought the company from the brothers for $2.7 million. Adjusted for inflation, that's worth far more today. But the deal remains controversial decades later. According to some accounts, the brothers believed they were promised a continuing royalty agreement through a handshake deal. That alleged agreement was never included in the written contract. McDonald's has denied such a promise existed. The brothers kept their original San Bernardino restaurant, but were forced to remove the McDonald's name. It became the Big M. Soon after, a new McDonald's opened nearby. The original location eventually failed. Meanwhile, Ray Kroc now controlled the brand entirely, and growth accelerated like never before, building the fast food machine. The 1960s and 1970s transformed McDonald's into an American icon. New menu items began arriving constantly. The Filet-O-Fish launched in 1965, the Big Mac debuted nationally in 1968, the Quarter Pounder arrived in 1973. Breakfast changed everything. The Egg McMuffin launched in the early 1970s and helped create the modern fast food breakfast industry. Then came Happy Meals in 1979. Children became central to McDonald's marketing strategy. Ronald McDonald appeared. Play places expanded. Toys became massive attractions. McDonald's wasn't just selling food anymore, it was selling an experience. An entire generation of children grew up associating McDonald's with happiness, toys, and family road trips. And globally, the company was exploding. World domination. In 1967, McDonald's opened its first international location in Canada. That was only the beginning. Soon the Golden Arches spread across Europe, Asia, South America, the Middle East, and beyond. By the 1990s, expansion moved so fast that some reports claimed a new McDonald's opened somewhere in the world every 5 hours. McDonald's became one of the most recognizable brands on earth. The company adapted menus for local cultures. In India, beef products were reduced because of religious sensitivities. In Japan, different sauces and seasonal items appeared. In various countries, entirely unique menu items emerged. Yet the core experience stayed familiar: fast service, predictability, consistency. That consistency became a comfort to travelers around the world. No matter where people were, McDonald's felt recognizable and incredibly powerful. The dark side of fast food. But as McDonald's expanded, criticism exploded too. By the 1990s and early 2000s, fast food became linked to rising obesity rates and unhealthy eating habits. Critics argued companies like McDonald's normalized oversized portions, highly processed foods, and excessive sugar, salt, and fat. Then came one of the company's biggest public relations disasters, the hot coffee lawsuit. In the 1990s, a customer suffered severe burns from spilled McDonald's coffee, triggering a massive legal battle that became internationally famous. At the same time, documentaries like Super Size Me intensified public criticism of fast food culture. McDonald's faced pressure from every direction: health activists, nutrition experts, parents, labor advocates. The company responded by introducing salads, healthier menu items, nutrition transparency, and redesigned restaurants. But critics argued the changes were cosmetic. Still, McDonald's survived every controversy. because by that point it had become more than a restaurant chain. It was embedded into global culture itself, the modern McDonald's. Today, McDonald's looks very different from the original 1940 drive-in. Modern locations feature digital kiosks, mobile apps, delivery partnerships, AI-driven ordering systems. Restaurants have been redesigned repeatedly to appear more modern and upscale. McCafe expanded coffee offerings globally. Menus continue evolving constantly, yet despite all the changes, the core system remains remarkably similar to what the McDonald brothers created in 1948. Speed, efficiency, standardization, those principles still define the company. And financially, McDonald's remains one of the most successful restaurant businesses ever created. The brand now operates in over 100 countries with tens of thousands of restaurants worldwide. Few companies in history have reached this level of cultural influence. The legacy of McDonald's. McDonald's changed more than food. It changed labor systems, advertising, road travel, suburban culture, global franchising, even architecture. The company helped define modern consumer culture itself. But the story also leaves behind difficult questions. Who truly built McDonald's? The brothers who invented the system, or Ray Kroc, who scaled it into a global empire? Without Dick and Mac McDonald, fast food might look completely different today. Without Ray Kroc, the company may never have spread beyond California. Together, they created one of the most influential business models in modern history. And whether people love McDonald's or hate it, the Golden Arches became one of the defining symbols of the modern world. From a tiny burger stand in San Bernardino to one of the most recognizable corporations on earth, McDonald's didn't just serve food. It reinvented how the world eats. And decades later, billions of burgers later, the system created by two brothers and expanded by one relentless salesman still dominates global fast food. Because in the end, McDonald's was never really just about hamburgers. It was about speed, consistency, and building a machine powerful enough to feed the entire planet.